Well, everybody, I got a guest with me today. It's funny, I was telling you guys, I'm starting to look into the CBD oil. I think the market's about to get going like big time. Legalization's happening across the planet. I mean, Canada just legalized a couple days ago. You got President Trump talking about legalizing it throughout the whole United States, and talk about getting in on something when it's new before everybody else, catches on and gets in. That's why I was talking about the CBD oil over the last few days. Well, I told you guys I had I can kind of gauge now when this like a path is being laid before me, and like I need to jump on it. So no sooner do I start talking about this, am I introduced to somebody through a mutual friend that is in this industry. His name is Lucas Birdsall with International Cannabis Corp, and they're all about CBD. And we're gonna have him on here. He's on right now. So Lucas, how's it going?
Hi, Joe. It's going well. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, talk about perfect timing for me, anyways. In the industry, I mean, would you agree things are probably about to explode in the cannabis industry?
You know what? I would have to agree, Joe. I mean, this is an industry in its infancy, and ultimately there are some incredible value opportunities out there. Whether it's international, whether it's based domestically in Canada or the United States of America, but pertaining to CBD and extracts from cannabis. That's a very interesting industry. I think we're going to see some true growth, whether it's in the pharmaceutical side, whether it's on the pain management, anxiety side. And yeah, I mean, this is what we're calling the green rush up here in Canada. We had the gold rush back in the 1800s, and there's definitely a lot of cannabis millionaires out there right now.
Yeah, and that was before the legalization thing really started taking place. There was one or two states, in the U.S. anyways, and now I mean I'm in Florida, so Florida was never one of those states until recently, and they're starting off with medical use only. But then, as we all know, the next step is to have recreational and other purposes where you don't even have to have a prescription per se to get the stuff. And some of the CDB products out or CBD products out now, you don't have to have one anyways because it's CBD from hemp or whatever. But I'm pretty excited about this. I'm a big cryptocurrency guy too, so that was a market that came out last year as far as full force, people getting in, making a ton of money, kind of like the early people in medical or I shouldn't say medical marijuana, but just the marijuana industry. But like cryptocurrencies, it started last year. We went into a bear market. They go through these cycles, and there's so much good news this year behind cryptocurrencies. I think this coming year, 2019, is going to be incredible. But it's funny because there's cannabis now, which doesn't have necessarily anything to do with cryptos, but that industry I think is going to do the same kind of a thing where there's just people rushing in, like we saw last year for cryptocurrencies, trying to get anything with the word cannabis or marijuana or hemp, invest in companies or the oils and all that stuff. So I'm excited. I'm so glad that our mutual friend kind of put me in contact with you right now because this is like I haven't even given out my link yet to everybody with this thing that I'm going to be doing with this. And here we are chatting about this. I'm like, oh, talk about being able to talk to somebody that's in the industry and sees where this is going. This is gonna be great. So what is the International Cannabis Corp? What do you guys do exactly there?
Yeah, it's a great question, Joe. ICC International Cannabis Corp. We're a publicly traded medical and recreational cannabis and CBD extraction company. Ultimately, our objective is to be the first international, fully vertically integrated pure cannabis play traded on any stock market in the world. We currently trade in Canada on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol WRLD, as in world. We trade on the OTC market down south under the symbol KNHBF, and we're also tri-listed, so we trade over in Germany. Ultimately, we've assembled a robust portfolio of cannabis extraction and cannabis cultivation assets. We hold 5 cultivation licenses spanning 4 countries in 3 continents. Ultimately, this is a staking rush right now. We all remember the gold rush days. Everyone was clamoring up to stake a claim in the Yukon or in
Yep.
California to make their gold wealth. Well, right now, ICC is focused on planting their flag in a variety of European, African, South American jurisdictions. And just to name some off the top of my head, we're in Denmark. We mirror our industry peers such as Canopy Growth Corp, Aurora, etc. We're in Colombia. We're in South Africa. We're in Slovenia. We're in Lesotho, which is an enclave country in South Africa. We have both an industrial hemp and cannabis cultivation license in Greece. And ultimately, we're always focused on extraction everywhere we go.
Wow. So you're pretty much head deep into this. I mean, this is again, I it's weird because this year for me, things have just kind of plopped in front of me, different things where I kind of thought I need to, whatever this is, I need to go with it. Like I was saying earlier as my intro, where I'm just seeing a path and it's like blatantly obvious where I need to go, I guess. And some things with crypto, some other things in the kind of woo-woo world. And it was just, it all panned out. And then here I am with CBD, and then all of a sudden, bang, here you are with some interesting information, because I've got people that will be interested from just the product, using the products such as the oils, things like that itself. I'm going to have people that don't care anything about that just want to get in on, the gold rush, so to speak, get in the right company to invest in, that kind of a thing. And then you have people that want to do both. They want to take it as a supplement or whatever, and they see they can see the light at the end of the tunnel on this one and want to get in as an investment. I'm going to tell everybody, though, listening right now, our mutual friend has put some people in front of me of a couple, 2-3 times throughout the last couple of years that I did interviews with. One of them was about cobalt and the lithium battery stuff. And I don't know if you guys followed that. But after we talked about that industry kicked off quite well. Stock prices and things did very, very well. So every now and then when this individual reaches out to me, I kind of pay attention, because he's kind of at the forefront of finding little gems like this and stuff. So this is why I quickly agreed. I mean, he was just asking, hey, would you want to do an interview with this guy like last night? And I'm like, absolutely, immediately. Like, is he available Friday? Because I want to talk about this. And sure enough, they said, yep, let's do it. So here we are. Anyway, so what is your vision or your mission, with your company?
Well, ultimately, right now we're employing a buy and build strategy. So it's our objective to assemble as many international cannabis cultivation and extraction licenses as humanly possible. We work with a team of strategic advisors, consultants all around the globe. And ultimately, we're trying to identify the best jurisdictions in which to acquire these licenses and then ultimately operate them. So, for example, I was in Lima, Peru yesterday. I was in an airport lounge. I was doing an interview very similar to the one that we're doing right now. And we have a team of Lucases all around the world. We're exploring cannabis assets. We're trying to acquire them for, a steep discount to market. I mean, up in Canada here, we legalized marijuana on the 17th of October. Many people celebrated that. Down in the States, you can acquire cannabis assets for, quite a discount, just because there is no consistency in regulation across state lines, et cetera. Federally, it is still technically illegal. But the real money, the real value is found in these international cannabis assets. There's no consistency. Every country is still, laying that path out in front of them. And you can scoop up some very, very good deals. And that's our focus, and that's our mandate.
Excellent. How do you plan on bringing your products, such as, I think there's one that you guys call the medical cannabis flower, the CBD extracts, that sort of thing. How do you plan on bringing that stuff to market?
That's a great question. One of our objectives is to become completely vertically integrated. So in addition to assembling cannabis cultivation and extraction licenses, we also have distribution channels, and we're working on bringing the fertilizer, the lights, the hydroponic systems in. In Europe, we own a company, and they have access to 35,000 different pharmacy chains, and we're going to distribute our products through those storefronts. In South Africa, we own a company, and they own 2,800 different corporate and independent pharmacies. South Africa actually just legalized recreational medical marijuana use, and that was about 2-3 weeks ago. So we applaud their efforts there. But ultimately, we have fantastic supply lines. We're working on import-export licenses in a variety of these jurisdictions, and we're going to bring it to market through our own storefronts and our own shops.
Wow. My friend, I work with a guy named Frank at work. I always mention him in my videos. My buddy Frank, so everybody knows who that is when I say that name. But we were talking about this last year, actually. He's always got these ideas. Let's open up a candy store. And, we'll get the gummies and all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be good. But it's just, it's just us talking back and forth. But you guys would be, I guess, would you be supplying stores like that? Because a ton of those kinds of stores are going to open up. Or would you own the stores and then supply yourself?
A little bit of both. So, currently our retail footprint is about just under 40,000 different locations, but we're looking to secure partnerships with other dispensary owners or other
Okay.
storefronts who plan on selling cannabis or cannabis extracts. Right now, it's a partnership game. You need to execute on some supply agreements, and we're going to have a whole ton of product coming. Q1, Q2 of 2019, and we need some place to sell it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I think there'll be places opening up left and right as this, legalization moves forward. Like you said a couple days ago in Canada, that was a big celebration for a lot of people. Not that there's a whole lot of individuals living in Canada when you look at the population in America, in comparison. But it doesn't matter. It's just the news of one country allowing it, then another country, then several different states in the United States. I really do think it will be something that Donald Trump changes to where all the states, it'll no longer be a federal crime, basically. And when that happens, oh my gosh, like everybody needs to look out. So again, I see this kind of stuff as an opportunity, whether someone wanted to either invest or they wanted to, get ready to partnership with someone, open a store or get into this industry one way or the other, whatever they felt like. But man, I just can't stop thinking about how this is probably going to be like how the crypto market was last year, where it just freaking exploded. And there was what we call FOMO, the fear of missing out. And people were just getting into any cryptocurrency they could just because everything was rising, including coins that were junk. So, what I try to do as the YouTuber is say, well, let's look at some that we don't think are going to be junk and are going to be around to last. So that's where I think a company like yours may come in handy here, because I've done some research in the meantime since last night, kind of looking at what you guys do. And again, I think this is the other one they sent me I think it was several months back. It may have even been last year, actually, come to think of it, with the cobalt thing. I can't remember if it was earlier this year, last year, and it worked out really well. So, you guys are you guys in Colombia or working on getting in Colombia?
We are in Colombia, my friend.
Okay.
We own a 10-year lease on a 13-hectare property, and we've just broken ground on our Cannabis Center of Excellence. So for those familiar with the technology space, Apple, Microsoft, all these big names have Center of Excellence, where basically, leaders in the space come to work on revolutionary ideas. So we're developing that for cannabis. So geneticists, growers, pharmaceutical reps can arrive here and they can work in a collaborative way on revolutionary strategies and products. And in that 13-acre cannabis park in Colombia, we're going to have over 6 hectares of greenhouse outdoor grow. We're going to cultivate both industrial hemp, which can be, basically used to extract CBD for these oils, et cetera, as well as grow medical cannabis flower, which has a higher THC content, which is the psychoactive ingredient in cannabis. But we are in Colombia. We've planted the flag. We're working very closely with regional and municipal governments, and that's a very, very exciting asset of ours.
That's great. I'll just add one more thing here. I do a lot of studying of just stuff, and I've been doing YouTube for a long time, many, many, many years. And a lot of what I talk about is kind of how we've been lied to and history's wrong and what they tell us. And, again, not legalizing, but making marijuana and such illegal all these years. I personally felt, this is big pharma with their big grasp on stuff. And we have a plant that we can grow in the ground, that God gave us, basically, that, I'm not going to use the word cure, but I mean, I just mentioned this the other day, literally 2 days ago, and I've got a number of emails coming. And Joe, I've already been taking the CBD oil, and I've got this chronic pain. It solved it, or it's got this problem, and it's fixing that. And I wasn't able to sleep at night. I had this, and I'm just like, man, this is going to put big pharma potentially out of business, which I'm okay with, because you turn on the TV at night, and you see these commercials and the side effects and all that, and I'm thinking, what's the side effect of CBD? Or even, marijuana, medical marijuana, besides getting high, if you take too much of it. But like CBD doesn't even have THC or such little amounts, you can't really get high off of it. And it has so many great benefits. So whenever I get an opportunity like this to promote something or push something, I love it, because it's not just some, in other words, you'd never find me out here promoting a big pharma's pill or something like that. I've done the research, and I just don't trust the whole industry. And you see people like at the FDA, they're at the top of it. They're skewing studies, and then they get fired or they quit, and then they go work for the big pharmaceutical company they were supposed to be basically regulating. And I'm like, that's the proof's in the pudding. So anyways, I hope they all get put out of business, and I'm glad to be getting in this stuff right now because I feel like, like we talked earlier, this is just going to be huge. Is there anything else you wanted to add to this before we call it quits?
No, you know what? I think I'll cap it off. I'll thank you for your time. I would encourage all of your viewers, all of your listeners to, do some due diligence on our company. They can visit our website at intlcannabiscorp.com, and perhaps you can post that in the show notes, Joe.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is very comparable to what we saw in the crypto craze last year. We saw altcoins, Bitcoin, everything went parabolic, and you're seeing that in CBD extracts, and you're seeing that in cannabis right now. Timing is everything in life, and no time is better than the present. So, I would encourage everyone to take a look at our company. We're doing some exciting stuff.
Cool. Yeah. For everybody listening, I'm going to go ahead and post their link, like I always do, in the description box. So it'll be the topmost link in there. You'll see to check them out and see what they offer and see if you're interested. So, Lucas, appreciate you coming on, and best of luck to you and the rest of us as we see where this industry goes.
Likewise, Joe. Have a great day.
All right. Take care.
Bye now.
Bye. Yeah. So everybody, this is a promotional video. Okay, this was a promotional video, but the same acquaintance that I told you about with the cobalt stuff, which I followed that one. It did very well. This guy is always looking at the next best thing and feeds me stuff. Joe, would you be interested on that? Maybe, maybe not. And then I find there's been a couple times where I was like, nah, either I just didn't have the time to do the interview, or I was just like, no, I'm not interested. And then I went back and looked, like months later, to see, that thing he wanted me to look at, and it was doing well. Like, well, maybe I should never tell him no. Like, he seems to find, some good picks, So, anyways, I'm over here looking at CBD stuff, as you know, and I've got this thing with, this friend subscriber that I talked about from the days of Tennessee, and I did the It Works thing with her, but I never followed through, and I shut it down, and I shouldn't have, because I had a team under me that started really doing well, and I could have been making some nice side cash, and I screwed up. I didn't follow through. I just didn't really have the time to mess with it at the time. But again, this is punching me in the face right now with the CBD oil stuff. And you might say, well, isn't that, Joe, in that kind of competition that you just threw out on yourself? No, it's not, because that company, you can invest with that company. They're going to be the kind of company, like you said, that they're putting the hydroponic systems in place. They're getting assets across the planet, gearing up for this giant boom that's coming. That's the kind of thing, if you want to invest in something, you may want to look at that. Go check them out. Again, do your own due diligence. You don't have to listen to me. I'm just going to put things in front of you sometimes that I think will do, personally, I think will do well. Or else I tell them no. Like I've been saying, I've been getting hit up for weeks now about ICOs. Look at it. Nope. It's got to blow me away right now for an ICO. And nothing that's been coming to me is even kind of blowing me away. So I haven't done a single, review or anything of those things, because they're just not there. It's just not happening right now. But this came at the absolute right time. So you hear me with the CBD side of things right now, the oils. But here's another side. This is someone that's on the ground, boots on the ground, gearing up at a frantic pace to deal with what's coming. And again, this is what I do. I study things. I look at things. I do it with cryptos. What can I tell people about next? Because I think this is going to be great. And look, I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I don't think anyone is that's called every single epic crypto pick in the world. It's not possible. But I think we've all done well, especially last year. Yes, we're in a bear market at the moment, so every single crypto out there is not doing good. But we've had opportunities to take huge profits that all of us decided, no, we're going to wait, right? So that's on us, right? But anyways, I think this whole industry is going to be fantastic. And I had to share that with you this morning anyway. So on and upward. We'll see where we go with my CBD thing with the multi-level marketing deal. The stuff and research I've already been doing, I get people emailing me, Joe, it's going to be insane. And I'm not even talking about people on like that I'm working with like on this. I'm talking about people, Joe, I've already been in this thing. I've done this, I've done that. Just getting regular emails from people who have heard me talk recently about it is all I'm saying. From both people telling me how it's healed this, and I've had this problem at night. I don't have it anymore. Not that I really didn't know that stuff, but for me to just barely mention something and then people flood my inbox, different people with story after story after story of how this is helping. So not only is this like the new thing, right? Just think all these chronic illnesses, whatever, just illnesses and problems people have that, and I'm not going to say I know this, right? I want to be completely fair and say, what if cannabis and CBD, all that stuff helps with all these sicknesses and illnesses? Can you imagine the boom? For example, oh my God, breaking news, there's a cure for cancer and it's this drug or whatever. If you invested in that thing, that company, that industry, you'd be set probably for life, right? If you just knew this new cure-all thing came out, and I'm talking about big pharma, let's say, you knew to invest in it, you would be freaking set. So I'm thinking, okay, this is a global issue, sickness, all these diseases, everything, all the problems people have, from cholesterol issues to, blood pressure, diabetes. And again, I'm getting emails telling me about people, oh, I don't have it anymore. Okay, well, that's very interesting. So we have something being legalized that's previously been illegal. That in and of itself is going to cause a boom. Then you have the potential, I'll use the word potential, that this particular same thing starts fixing or alleviating, let's say, people's problems that they had to spend a fortune on big pharma and get prescriptions and this 500 side effects, when they can take something that causes no side effects, is from the earth and it's organic. In my case, the one we're selling is organic, the CBD thing. And I'm going to throw a little woo-woo at you real quick. My wife's sitting over here. We got the rods out this morning. They're actually sitting over here in the chair in my office here. I was trying to do some double confirmation for Jan. She got a pendulum thing. And she was asking some Bitcoin questions. I asked the same ones and I did not get the same answer on one of the things she was asking about Bitcoin price being like $4,000 next year. My rods were like, no. And she got a yes on one particular month, I think in March. So she's like, I'm not really sure. And I said, all right, well, I'll check it out. Not that I know mine work anyways, but I did ask. My wife's like, ooh, you should ask if this whole CBD thing is going to be like positive and successful for us. And I said, okay. Well. And it was like a quick yes. And then I said, is this thing going to be, starting to be successful within the coming months in 2019? Immediate yes. So if that's going to be successful, I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel like anybody who gets into this industry, whether you're doing this or your own thing, I don't care. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. Maybe you chose some other company or some other investment. That's fine. I just want to bring this out and put it in front of you anyways, just so that we are all on the same page that this industry might be about to skyrocket in more than one way. So I will leave you with that. And I do look forward to seeing where this CBD multi-level thing goes, because, again, the signs that I've just received personally that I haven't really talked about over the last 2 days, which, just FYI, I'm doing this video on Friday. They want it to be released on, I think, Monday morning really early. And I told them I'd go ahead and do that. But I'm doing this video Friday. So basically Wednesday, Thursday, signs are punching my mouth loose. CBD, do it, talk about it, tell your people about it. Just like the psychic thing where I've all of a sudden I'm getting hit with all these people. I'm going to see Michelle White Dove. Like, I made all these connections out of nowhere. I saw that path. It was easy to follow, but it helped me recognize when it happens again, recognize it this way. Okay. And this is one of those things. So that's why I'm going to tell you about it. And whether you do it, it's up to you. But I will keep you up to date with my ventures and things like I always do. Take care.